This is the Daily Roundup on the EAC Cambodia channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Andrew Barnes-Roberts. Making headlines tonight. A 9-year-old and a 14-year-old are arrested in Svay Rieng for the murder of a 4-year-old girl. The Health Ministry said to be looking at an exit strategy to get the kingdom past the pandemic and into a new normal. And FAR defends its controversial music video, saying no harm was intended with one of the video's scenes. A shocking story out of Svay Rieng province. A 4-year-old girl has allegedly been murdered by a 9-year-old and 14-year-old boy. The girl was found on Tuesday morning with a charging cable wrapped around her neck. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has our top story.
The little girl was found unresponsive in her home in Suaychrum district of Svay Rieng on Tuesday morning. A mobile phone charging cable was wrapped around her neck. Initially, it was thought the death was an accident, but an initial police investigation has confirmed their worst suspicion. This was murder. 2 young boys, aged 9 and 14, have been arrested. They are in the custody of authorities, being too young to be formally charged with the crime. Svay Rieng police have told EAC News that they cannot provide any further details just yet, with their investigation still ongoing. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
As the country continues to battle the spreading Delta variant of COVID-19, Siem Reap has declared 2 new red zones, joining other border provinces in tightening up preventative measures. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has the details.
The Siem Reap Provincial Administration has declared Pralay and Korksnol villages as red zones. Both are located in the Puok district. They will be in total lockdown until the 14th of September. Other administrative measures across the province remain in place until further notice. Across the provincial border, Pria Vihyar has 3 active red zones. The villages of Kulengchon and Kulentapon, both in the province's Kulen district, and the whole of Chuangsan district are in lockdown until next Wednesday. Also along the border, Bingche Mengche is home to 2 red zones, Tok Tla and Kampong Savai, both in Seray Soporn City. Cambodia is placing special attention on its provinces with border Thailand, with most Delta variant cases being detected in migrant workers returning from the country. Yuri Matosko, EAC News.
Cambodia's daily COVID-19 cases have increased for the 4th consecutive day. The Health Ministry has confirmed 455 new cases with 13 new deaths. It was also another day when new cases outnumbered recoveries. Just 328 patients have been discharged overnight, meaning the kingdom's active cases continue to climb. As of Wednesday, healthcare workers are now treating 2,473 COVID patients. The new cases take to 93,510, the country's total number of COVID cases. The 13 new deaths take the kingdom's total COVID-19 fatalities to 1,916. It is Delta cases that are behind the rise in infections. 164 new cases have been confirmed in the past 24 hours, taking the country's total number to 1,916. Just over 600 of these are in Phnom Penh. The Health Ministry is reportedly working on an exit strategy to ease COVID-19 restrictions and get the country ready to live in a new normal. Health Ministry spokeswoman Or Van Dien has been quoted as saying that the kingdom needs to start learning how to live with the virus, but says for now, preventative guidelines issued by the government will remain in place. Current restrictions in Phnom Penh are due to expire next Friday. EAC News reporter Johnny McCune has more.
For the capital's high-risk businesses, the new normal couldn't come soon enough. They've been closed since early March, but the sight of people wearing masks, socially distancing, and avoiding crowds as much as possible is probably with us to stay. 80% of the population has already received 2 doses of the vaccine. Cambodia, like Singapore, is striving to reach herd immunity, even with the variants likely to stay with us. The new normal is going to mean living with COVID much the same way as we live with the flu. World Health Organization representative to Cambodia, Dr. Lee Allen, says that WHO is very pleased that the overall COVID-19 situation is now improving in Cambodia. At the same time, the Health Ministry is looking at expanding the vaccine drive to include children aged 10 to 12. It's looking to use the Sinovac doses, which continue to stream into Nompang International. Sinovac is already being used in children as young as 3 in China and is being used to inoculate Cambodian children in the 12 to 17 age group. Johnny McCune, EAC News.
An unintended misunderstanding about a work of art. This is what Fa Parnluselpak has had to say in response to critics of its music video of Love Lost Beauty. Funded by the US Embassy, the music video was released to mark what would have been the 89th birthday of the great Khmer artist Sin Sisamut. He was known as the Emperor with the Golden Voice from the 1950s to the 1970s and died at the hands of the Khmer Rouge. On his 89th birthday, the US Embassy released the music video performed by Sin's granddaughter. But one section of the video has critics in an uproar. EAC News reporter Reo Soko explains.
Love Lost Beauty by the great Sin Sisamut, now performed as a duet by his granddaughter. But it's this scene, arguably devoid of any beauty, that has caused a storm of protest on the US Embassy's Facebook page. Union of Journalist Federations of Cambodia President Hoi Vanak has raised questions about the real intentions of the music video. He says the song was by a famous Khmer singer, but has complained about all the garbage in the background. He questions why the people behind the project chose not to rather show the country's treasures instead of trash. Fa Parnluselpak's executive director, Osman Hawaja, has urged people to see the music video in its entire context. He says one important image that hasn't been discussed amidst the controversy is the Heritage Movie Theater at the center of it, describing it as a real historical treasure in the heart of Battambang. Hawaja has reminded people that it is where the great musical films of Sin Sisamut played a generation ago. He says that to see the granddaughter of the legend singing a duet with him there, and with the big screen lit up again with a new Cambodian art, is a real demonstration of cultural pride and resilience.
Sin Sisamut songs are accessible to everyone, regardless of class, wealth, social standing. It actually shows that they can be an inspiration to youth today, as well as those living in desperate situations. This creative project is really about giving these young artists a platform to perform for new audiences online during this pandemic, to help them tap into the power, resilience, and beauty of Cambodian culture.
The Love Lost Beauty music video is just one scene in a cutting-edge musical fantasy film inspired by the classical love songs of Sin Sisamut. The movie will be released by Fa later this year. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
It's a new month and a new start for Afghanistan. The Taliban is moving quickly to assert itself a day after Western evacuations were completed from Kabul's Hamid Karzai International, and the last US troops left Afghan soil after 20 years of occupation. The Taliban, parading themselves victoriously on the tarmac of an airport that was the center of the world's attention for the past week. Over 125,000 Western diplomats and some of the Afghans who worked for them were airlifted during one of the largest operations of its kind in history. But thousands of Afghans have been left behind. The Taliban says they have nothing to fear and there is no longer a need for war. Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid says the group wants diplomatic relations with the United States as well as with other countries around the world as it seeks to rebuild a country shattered by decades of civil war, invasion, and occupation. The group says its first job is to reopen Kabul's main airport. Elsewhere in the capital, though, possibly predictable scenes of what some members of the Taliban really think about their former occupiers. This was billed as a celebration by a group that is promising peace, stability, and socio-economic development in a new Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Across the region, there is a sense of resignation that isolating the Taliban is not going to be an option and that engagement is going to be key to ensuring regional security. In Qatar, Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani was hosting his German counterpart. He told the media he's choosing to look on the bright side.
We believe that isolation is not an answer, yet the recognition is still not a priority for us. So this is given our assessment that Taliban being isolated in 1996 has led us to the situation that we were in previously in Afghanistan. Yet we have seen that the engagement can give us some positive results.
He is urging countries around the world to work with the Taliban, as another power vacuum would be the worst possible outcome for the international community. Not one country has yet formally recognized the Taliban as the government of Afghanistan. Well, let's have a look now at some other news making headlines around the world this Wednesday, the 1st of September.
Firefighters are waging an all-out battle in strong winds to protect homes near Lake Tahoe from California's Sierra Nevada range wildfire known as the Calder Fire. It has been burning since mid-August. Tens of thousands of residents and tourists have been evacuated from the popular resort. According to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, the fire is moving closer to more heavily populated areas. The department has closed all 18 national forests in California in the midst of a fire season already shaping up as one of the worst on record. The fire is only 13% contained.
A double tragedy in Peru. A bus plunged into a ravine outside the capital Lima. 32 people, including 2 children, have been killed. The bus was carrying 63 passengers. One survivor said the bus started to zigzag and passengers were asking the driver to stop, but he kept going. At the same time, 2 riverboats full of passengers crashed into a barge on Sunday night in Peru's largest Amazon region. At least 20 people are dead. 50 others are still missing. Reporters rushed to the scene to speak to survivors. This man was asked if his wife had made it. He told the reporter that his wife and 7-year-old son had both been killed.
And researchers are hoping that Brazilian viper venom could become a tool in the fight against COVID-19. Brazilian researchers have found that a molecule produced by the Jaracuçu pit viper inhibits coronavirus reproduction in monkey cells by 75%. The molecule is a peptide, a chain of amino acids that can connect to an enzyme of the coronavirus, without damaging other cells. The University of São Paulo says the peptide can be synthesized in the laboratory, so capturing or killing snakes for their venom is unnecessary.
Stay with the Daily Roundup. After the break, a look at all today's sports news. EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. use the Stop COVID QR code, and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, please, please wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. EARTS Cambodia's audience is growing. Our YouTube channel now has 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates EARTS Cambodia's hard work and incredible achievement. She says not only has EARTS Cambodia brought a unique voice and style to the world, but has also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to www.youtube.com/EARTS Cambodia. Subscribers get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. We'll see you there. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of EARTS Cambodia's platforms and channels: YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eartscambodia.com. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear. It's been pouring down in Tokyo, but it hasn't put a dampener on Paralympic glory. More world records were smashed on Tuesday and Wednesday, with Britain notching up its 1,000th gold Olympic-Paralympic medal since new funds were injected into British sport after the country's disastrous showing at Atlanta back in 1996. Dame Sarah Storey won her 16th gold medal in the women's C5 cycling time trial. Most of the action, though, was on the drenched surface of the athletics track. Before we get to that, though, great news for Cambodian sports fans. Our Paralympian, Van Von, has reached Wednesday night's final of the T54 100-meter men's wheelchair race. He qualified with a new personal best and will start in the 7th lane. Elsewhere, French runner Charles-Antoine Kaku achieved a surprise victory in the men's T20 400-meter final. Mexico's José Rodolfo Garcia could hardly hide his delight at winning gold in the T38 400-meter final. In the women's T64 200 meters, it was a great day for the Dutch as they picked up gold and bronze. Marleen van Gansewinkel roared with delight as she crossed the finish line in a new Paralympic record time of 26:22. She was followed by Germany's Irmgard Bensuan in second and fellow Dutch runner Kimberly Alcamada in third. In the women's T11 100 meters, Venezuela's Linda Patricia Perez Lopez won gold, having watched her sister pick up a bronze medal earlier in the day. Archery also provided a stunning spectacle, with China's He Jiao firing 9 successive 10-point arrows to take home the gold medal.
From China is your Paralympic.
Venezuela and Argentina are busy training ahead of their World Cup qualifier in Caracas on Thursday night. The game is part of a triple header of World Cup qualifiers in South America over the course of the next week. Brazil play Chile on Thursday, with Venezuela then facing Peru the following Thursday.
It's all to play for Venezuela. Brazil topped the South American qualifying group after 6 games, 6 points ahead of a second-place Argentina. The top 4 teams qualify automatically for Qatar 2022. Venezuela and Argentina face off at Caracas Olympic Stadium. While the players get training, Fans are getting tested. A makeshift mobile testing center has been set up at the Olympic Stadium. The Venezuelan government is limiting match capacity to 30%. Fans must test negative for COVID-19 if they hope to attend.
European football's annual summer transfer window has closed, and Kylian Mbappe will be staying at Paris Saint-Germain. The club rejected Real Madrid's almost $200 million offer, but it'll likely be Mbappe's last summer in Paris anyway. His contract is due to end next year, and he has already said he's keen for a move to Spain. And while they held on to Mbappe, PSG have signed Portugal fullback Nuno Mendes on a season loan from Sporting Lisbon. The loan also includes an option to make the move to PSG a permanent one. He'll have big shoes to fill, though, if Mbappe does leave next year, with him being the club's top scorer. The biggest headline of the transfer season, though, was the sensational move back to Atletico Madrid for French forward Antoine Griezmann. He's on a season-long loan from Barcelona with the option to make it a 2-season deal. Atletico managed to secure his return in the final hours of the transfer window. They paid just over $140 million for him back in 2019, but details of the loan deal have not been released. All right, let's have a look at what the weather's going to be playing at tomorrow. And finally, signs the world is slowly returning to normal after an almost 2-year pandemic are always a pleasure to see. Last year's event was cancelled, but Peru's crazy car race was back on the calendar on Monday.
No need for a driver's license for this event, with young and old getting behind the wheel in their homemade cars. The only rule was that your vehicle had to be made from recycled materials. For most, it was just a bit of fun, but 3 teams really drove themselves into the competitive spirit. Dragon Ball Goku eventually defeated the Flintstones to take first place on the driver's podium. The Fast and the Furious team weren't quite fast enough, finishing in 3rd. Everyone says they'll all be back again next year.
Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on the EARTS Cambodia channel. You'll get more breaking news and updates from our website. Head to www.e-artscambodia.com. You can also search for EAC News on Telegram, as well as at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team in tomorrow night's Daily Roundup at 8. I will see you then.